This is the art of network engineering, where technology meets the human side of IT. Whether you're scaling networks, solving problems, or shaping your career, we've got the insights, stories, and tips to keep you ahead in the ever-evolving world of networking. Welcome to the Art of Network Engineering podcast. My name is Andy Laptev, and on this Whiteboard Wednesday episode, I am joined by the one, the only, the AI-tastic Jeffrey Clark. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right. I mean, AI-tastic, it's a new word. I have to look that up in AI. But, I like
Is that it? AI-tastic. Now, can't we just make up words now with a little dash? AI puts dashes in everything. You ever notice that? If you're ever looking to see if somebody, used it for AI, it's just,
Yep.
I don't think it's a dash. I don't know if it's an Oxford comma. It's a really long dash.
Yeah, it's called I ended up looking at it, or actually having a whole conversation with ChatGPT about it because it was putting them into my conversations, and it's called like an M dash, like EM,
Right.
like it's weird. Anyway, yeah, fully
You tell it to stop doing that?
You can tell it. It doesn't stop, but you can tell it.
I told mine to stop putting emojis in, and it keeps putting emojis in.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't need your little bullseye emoji and your little rocket ship. Which again, every time I see like a rocket ship on somebody's post somewhere, I'm like, that was AI generated. Like,
Yep,
I'm not
100%.
reading this.
Exactly.
All right. So we are here on Whiteboard Wednesday. And just to let the audience know, in case they didn't catch the last Whiteboard Wednesday, this is a new series that Jeff kicked off where we kind of walk through, we do screen shares and we walk through different tools or technologies or the things that we're using that are making our professional and personal lives better, more efficient, more productive. Hint, hint, nod to today's episode. And today, we're going to talk about productivity. Tooling, I guess. Jeff has some tools that he wants to show people and what he uses to be productive. And I have a few things as well as some comments around tools that I use, have tried to use, stopped to use differently, because it seems to me, in my experience, that every time I seem to have my organization down, and I kind of think this is almost like an organizational tooling that kind of helps us be more productive. At least that's what I'm thinking about. I still haven't dialed it in, right? So I'm a something-year-old, professional person, and I've studied all the things, and I still don't feel as organized as I could be, and I could always use a productivity hack. Where do we want to start, Jeff? I guess we'll do a screen share here, and reminder for the listeners: you can check out our YouTube channel at Art of NetEng, and you'll be able to see. We're going to try to talk you through this, so if you're an audio-only listener, you'll be able to get value here, but this is going to be a visual heavy show where we're going through the tools and stuff that we use. So where do you want to start, Jeff?
Well, I think largely the whole idea that kind of sparked this particular topic was, we have our Discord chat that you and I are on for show topics and that kind of thing. And it feels like constantly you're mentioning some new tool, or you're showing me some screenshot from like a brain thing that that you're doing, or mind map that you're doing. And I see this with other engineers too. They've all got kind of their own little secret set of tools that they've been using for years, or things that have helped them to be more productive, more organized, or just kind of works with their workflow. So I thought, hey, we've got this kind of Whiteboard Wednesday idea where we're doing more visual things. And maybe this would be a good time for me to show you a couple of the things that are really, really exciting to me. You keep talking about this other tool, and I'm going to mess up the name, Asana, or...
I say Asana, but it could be Asana.
I don't even know what it is.
It could be Asana.
That, you want to
start there?
Yeah, let's start with that. You can share your screen first. You tell me about this thing. Right. I don't even know how to use it. I just know you're like, we'll just put this in the Asana thing.
So I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to try to share a screen. I have an ultra wide, so I have to do some magic. Give me a second. We try to share an ultra wide.
Well, there is a tool for that, which I think you already told me you're using.
I have it. So I happen to be using, again, not sponsored. Well, it's open source. So how would it be? But this particular tool on Mac OS is called DeskPad. So I can't show you this on a screen share because this is a virtual screen. But basically on an I have a 49-inch ultra wide, and it looks awful when you try to screen share it. It's very thin and nobody can see it on the other side. But they have these different apps. So here's a tool, not a productivity tool, but yeah. So you download, what's this called? DeskPad. And then what I'm doing is I'm dragging what I want to show you into this virtual desktop.
So what does it create, like a box on your screen? that you drag
It's
stuff.
like, yeah, it's a separate, so it looks like a browser window, but it's kind of like a virtual desktop, I guess.
Gotcha.
But it's sized normally as opposed to, this crazy, I'm semi new to ultra wides. I got one a couple years ago and it's really helped my productivity. I have different windows and I have like it carved up into 6 different, there's a perfect example. I mean, we're just going to keep stumbling upon these things, but I used to have, for organization / productivity as a network engineer, I used to have like 3 or 4 different external monitors. Mm-hmm. I'd have secure CRT up in one. I'd have my OneNote up in another one. I'd have email and DMs in a third. And there's cords everywhere and it looks like crap. And some company laptops are better at others than multiple, external monitors. I would come back the next day and like one monitor wouldn't turn on unless I rebooted the whole system. So I got an ultra wide, 49 inches. It's as wide as my huge uplift desk. So it's great. And then I have to find another open source tool that I got to manage. So ultra wide's great because you have a lot of real estate, but the downside is you have a lot of real estate and how do you organize all that? So there's something called Rectangle that I also use. It's another open source, but it's a screen management. The center of my screen, the center third is my browser window or a Word document or whatever I'm working on. And then the right and the left, I break up into sixths. So there's like, my communication stuff on the left, OneNote and a to-do list on the right. Let me shut up and show you my screen. Realize you can't see my screen as I'm saying all this.
No, but I'm going to need to make sure I take notes of these things. I hope you're putting them in the show notes at the end because I'm going to actually want to get some of these tools you're talking about already.
What you're looking at here is Asana, and you have a couple of workspaces on the left. Really, all I use for the show to organize the show is this episode workflow project. So you see on the left here, there's projects that you can navigate into and out of. And this is the episode workflow. Again, in full transparency, all the credit to AJ Murray. He set up a lot of the organizational stuff that A1 runs on. So in order to try to get a handle of all our show ideas, what's been recorded, what has to be edited, and just handle the workflow here. That's how we use it. So for instance, I just created right before the show, you see this tile here. So for the listeners, there's 4 columns. The first one's show ideas. The second one is recorded column. The third one's editing. And the fourth is completed. So new ideas start on the left and work their way through the system. We are recording Whiteboard Wednesday productivity now. So I can drag that over to the recorded column. And then when I hop in here, I can see, okay, that one's been recorded. I have to edit that. I am currently editing Cruise Ship Networking with Will Robbins. So that's in the edited column. And then on the right-hand side, these are all the completed shows. This is back when we used to have really fancy, nice thumbnails. Look at that. I got to get back into that, huh? So what I like about this is, as you and I are talking, let's say, in the Discord, and we're like, hey, I was thinking about like this particular example, right? Like, hey, let's do a productivity organizational thing. Where are you going to put that? You could put it in an Excel spreadsheet. You could put it in a Google Doc. Sure. Right? There's so many tools where to put it. So what I would do is I would just direct you to our Asana and say, hey, man, go into episode workflow. If you could put it in show ideas. And then what's nice is when you and I have some time and we're going to record some stuff, I just kind of flip through here and I'm like, oh, cool. Like I really want to do a BGP episode because I know a lot about eBGP. I know little to nothing about iBGP. And I really want someone to walk me through the differences. We'll do a little lab, maybe another Whiteboard Wednesday. So like I put that in here. Does that make sense? There's not.
Yeah. So if you go into each one of those, there's more stuff you can add because I saw some of them had pictures, some of them had links. Okay. So, it's just a full notepad almost once you're.
Let's go into an older one that actually might have some notes in here. So, can you see that?
Yeah. I see it perfectly.
Yeah. So this is when we had Alexis Berthoff on. And as you can see in here, there's a due date. So that's when we're going to publish. You can put a description in here if we didn't know who Alexis was. Hey, here's Alexis, and she used to be in aerospace, but now she's in networking, and isn't this cool? And she works at such and such. And then there's a nice subtask workflow down here. So what do we have to do for each episode? We got to record it, edit it, name tags. There's some old stuff in here. We used to do wins on the show and things like that. Run it through Time Vault, run it through. Another idea you had, which I like that I should probably add to Asana, is a behind the show episode, right? Where like, here's all the stuff we have to do to get a show ideated, produced, and released. And that's what you're seeing some here, the thumbnail and blah, 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 blah. Here was her headshot when we asked for a headshot. So you can put it all in here. What I've run into in my personal, professional content creation life is like, there are so many different tools and so many options on like where to put things. And what I like, William Collins from the Gambit podcast, who comes on the show all the time, he has a Calendly link for guests.
Yep.
And when you fill out that Calendly link to be a guest, it's so smart. He asks for your bio, for a headshot, for any questions that you'd like him to ask. And so, whereas you're seeing in here kind of behind the scenes, I had to email Alexis, I had to get a headshot. I probably forgot to ask for a bio and did it again. And so I really like how he automated it in his scheduling.
Yeah, that's really smart. He would actually be good to have on kind of the behind the scenes stuff too. Talk about some of their behind the scenes. I love seeing how other people are doing it. And this is a tool I can already, not just for the A1 stuff, but, I'm a part of a two-man team here. I have an account manager. I'm the engineer. There's constantly stuff that he and I have to work on together, and we have full list of ideas. And I guess this was called a Kanban board or something like that. So you just kind of move it across. This is really helpful. Okay.
Which I think it's all the agile methodology, right?
Yeah.
Like we're in networking, we're stealing a lot of guests from dev. And that's really what you're seeing here too, I think. I think this is basically a Kanban board. You can see up top here, there's actually a little thing that says board. I guess you could do it as a list. I haven't really, messed with this, but there's a lot of functionality in here that I don't know about. Do you want to show?
So you've mentioned a couple times OneNote. And I have been at every job I've been at a huge OneNote fan. But my problem has been...
You turned me on to OneNote at Comcast, by the way. It's your fault.
And then what was nice was I could then share my notes with other people as they came in. And so my OneNote became like an onboarding thing. And they're probably not... Yeah,
and you can search it, which is, I think, the best function of it. Because I can never find anything.
Yeah. So what I have most recently been using is that the reason OneNote, for me, I've kind of outgrown it, is that I like to take my notes from company to company, and OneNote has become harder and harder to take with you. And it's also become more challenging to get out of it. Like once you're in the OneNote world, you can't really escape. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to start doing something that I can change platforms anytime I want. And I also wanted to start writing in Markdown. I don't know if have you done anything with Markdown at all? Is this something that you're familiar with?
So I kind of know what it is, but I'm going to have you describe it because I couldn't describe it. I know that in GitHub, everything's written in Markdown and like the about me. And I think that there's advantages to Markdown, but I don't know what they are. So can you tell me really quick what Markdown is?
So Markdown is just a shortcut way of keeping notes or any kind of a text file really well organized. So, and it's all done by simple keyboard shortcuts. And it's similar to, you've been in Microsoft Word where you've got heading 1 and heading 2 and heading 3 and then body and all that stuff. Markdown is the same way, but it's done, like I said, with keyboard shortcuts. So for example, if I do a single pound and then type, this becomes a heading, right? Then this heading here, I can put in here if I put a dash, it's going to start a bullet point 1, bullet point 2, etc. If I do 2 hashes, it makes it like a subheading. 3 hashes makes it a sub heading, and so on. What's nice about this though, is these all become collapsible parts of a document. So I can, as I'm taking notes and working with somebody, I can take notes in a meeting really, really fast. And this is all actually just saved as a text file. So if I go into, my Finder on my computer, all of these things are saved in my, folder called Jeffopedia. Here's the A1 podcast. Here's the Whiteboard Wednesday. Here's this. I'm going to open this just in Sublime Text. This is the text editor I use. So speaking of these, and you'll see this is exactly as it's written. Hash. And so these files now can be moved from any Markdown editor in the world. I can take these files with me. They're simple text files. And they're just really easy to work with. So I ended up switching over.
The advantage to using Markdown is it's a standardized language format, whatever. And as I'm seeing it here, I can see the last screen. I couldn't see the dashes and the pounds and stuff because I guess it hides it for you. But on the back end, Markdown is a language. It's portable, and you can move it from tool to tool, which is huge. Because to your point, when I left a particular company with a ton of engineering notes I lost them all because they were super regulated, super locked down. They would walk you out the door if you put a USB in. So there's no way I could have gotten anything off of that machine. But if I had Markdown, so how do you export this? Like, let's say you're in a heavily locked down environment. Like, you just email yourself a text document?
And in this case, I mean, you recognize this. This is Finder on the Mac, right? These are just done in folder structures. So
trying to think if I left the company I'm thinking of, I don't know how I would get my stuff out.
You'd end up with the same problem, right? Because you're doing it locally on your machine. And then in that case, I use Obsidian, but there's Notion. Notion also uses Markdown. Notion is a web-based notes application. Also really good. I happen to like Obsidian because it was self-hosted. Go ahead.
But if it was just vendor syntax commands and I had it in Markdown and I emailed it to myself toward the end,
it would all work fine.
Job, it would be okay. It would look, I think, less like, I'm not trying to say how to get around, your security stuff at a job you're leaving, but I think for me to export OneNotes to myself tied to the company's Office 365 domain, right? That's like, it just seems way harder, worse, and fraught with peril than just some text document that I'm emailing to myself. Because if anyone were to look at it, there's nothing proprietary in there. I mean, I'm not a dumb duck. I'm not going to export things that I shouldn't. Okay, this is compelling. I like this.
Yeah. So for me, it lets me take my notes away from a tool that I'm locked into. And that's kind of been my big mantra for myself lately is get away from anything that keeps me locked in if I can, so that I have the flexibility to move platforms. Because right now I'm using Obsidian. If
I was going to ask you, what are we looking at here? This is Obsidian?
Yeah, this is Obsidian. And then, like I said, there's another one called Notion. Very similar.
But I kind of like the layout. It reminds me of a lot of the other note-taking tools. You have, categories and...
Well, in Obsidian, you can get really, really creative with little plugins where you can... I've got an AI tool built into this thing so that stop my notifications there. AI tool, so I can come and do smart lookups for things and but all the same stuff that you find within your OneNote are in here.
So you can search your stuff in here. Okay.
Yeah. So like, here's my expense report stuff. And, I need to know, okay, I put in my notes for doing monthly expense reports or whatever. I'm not going to stay on these, but, it makes it nice and simple to be able to get around my notes. And like I said, because it's done in just a standard file format and file structure, it means that I don't even have to build it in Obsidian. I could literally take existing text files that I have, throw them into Obsidian, and then they would all just show up. I might have to do some formatting magic and that kind of stuff. But anyway, Obsidian, the whole idea behind it, and really the whole idea behind Markdown is just that it gives you a more portable, non-proprietary way of keeping notes. And again, kind of gets you away from the lockdown.
I'm glad you're showing screenshots, which are images, because a lot of what I have in my OneNote, I'm in my lab and I'm working on something. So, hey, I downloaded this thing and then I did this and here's the screen. And so images aren't a problem, I guess, right?
Nope, not at all. It's going to work the same way as OneNote. I can copy and paste them in.
Hey, folks. Andy here. Unfortunately, we lost Jeff. The internet fairies came and got him. And that was some time ago. And the internet fairies are still not smiling upon him. An ISP that I used to work for that shall remain nameless has yet to send a tech and fix his problems. So, Jeff, I miss you. I'm sorry I lost you in this episode. What I am going to do here is just finish out the episode and share, 2 or 3 of my most used daily driving tools for organization, and then we'll wrap it up. We covered probably I think we covered about 6 tools so far in the episode. As I mentioned earlier, OneNote is one of my favorite tools. Why? Well, mostly it's the search function. I'm one of those people that takes a lot of notes, writes a lot of things down, and then has a really hard time remembering where I put them or how I organize my data. So this, for example, this is a OneNote called Server, HP. I have an HP server in my home lab, and there's a bunch of tabs here. I did some research. I have some software, hardware, RAID, just different categories that I've run through over the years. And let's say that, I'm in here and I'm like, you know what? I had a friend once, he told me the Dell servers are great. This HP server's old. I probably need to upgrade it. Where in God's green earth would I have put my Dell notes in here? Just looking at the categories right now, research, software, RAID, Windows Server, services to run, virtualization. I don't see anything in here that would intuitively tell me that's where I put my Dell notes. So I click this little search bar here, and I can hit Dell, or I can type Dell and hit enter, and this will give me 3 results. So right here, oh good, look, I had a friend here say, hey, a Dell R620 server would be great for home labs. The next tab here, video editing. Oh look, a Dell monitor that I had for editing, cool. And then the third hit on hardware, a person I used to work with told me about their Dell and how they had it set up and the kind of hardware and things like that. So I have a ton of notes in OneNote, and I have a really hard time finding things, and I love the search functionality. Another tool that I love and use every day in my professional life, sometimes in my personal life, is Microsoft ToDo. There are a bunch of different, I don't know what you call them, task management pieces of software. I've used most of them, and I landed on ToDo. Now, my use case for ToDo is I will have things pop in and out of my head, and I had different systems. I have a notebook with me, usually, that I can write notes in, or reminders. I have Post-it notes that I can write reminders in. I have voice memos on my phone that I can write reminders in. I can email myself. I can put them in calendar entries to remind me, hey, tomorrow at lunch, we're going to do such and such. The problem I ran into is I had no less than 5 or 6 places with notes and lists of things to do. And invariably, let's say it's Saturday and I'm like, oh yeah, where's my house list of things I want to do around the house? Are they in sticky notes in my desk? Are they in one of a few notebooks laying around? Is it in the notebook in my bedroom? Is it in the notebook in my office? Did I email myself? Is it a calendar? So organizationally, I have decided to go with one tool and to simplify it. As you can see on the screen here, if you're watching YouTube, this is a to-do list called House Projects. And this is just stuff that I've been meaning to do around the house. What you'll see, the problem with this, and this is not how I do it today, but I want to show you the old way I used to do it. If you can see on the left here, I have a good number of lists here. Things for finance, things for the house, shopping list, things for birthdays, things for the podcast. Here's just a month, June 2025. I wonder what that is. Different house stuff. Here's what here's my list for packing, for trips. And it's not great having a to-do list with like 15 to 20 sublists. And then again, similar to OneNote where I have lists everywhere and I don't remember where I organize them. I had a heck of a time finding things. So my new jam is, and I'm not going to show it here because I use it for work and I don't want to share my work stuff here, but I have 2 lists in my to-do list now. A brain dump, anything I think of gets thrown in there. And then a top 3 or an MVP, most valuable priority list, whatever you want to call it. But every day I have 3 things from my brain dump list that I bring up into a top 3 list. And those top 3 things are my priorities for that day. Guess what? If I knock those top 3 out and I need to add more, I have a whole list in my brain dump. But it helps me capture my thoughts as they come, because they come at different times, different weird things. Hey, I'm out on a run. I think of something. Let me write it down. So brain dump list, great. And then when I get back to my desk or I get back to work, or it's just some downtime where I'm organizing, I might look through my brain dump and prioritize top 3 and put them in my top 3 list. That has been very helpful for me. And that is my new method for using my to-do list. Love it. I did take a look real quick, and there's nothing in here that's NDA or would be crazy to show. So just to show you a very quick example, this is what I was speaking of. This is a brain dump list, and this is my today list. Brain dump is just everything I think of. When it's completed, it goes down the bottom, up top. As an example, here's a Take PowerPoint class on LinkedIn Learning. Okay, I need to work on my PowerPoint skills. Now you know, haha, but it's on my list in brain dump. And when I get through my today lists and I need something to do, I can grab one from the brain dump into the today list. And as you can see here, here's all the things I've completed. Here's my top priorities. And that's how I use it. And I love it. The last tool that I use on the regular, and I'd like to show you a couple examples here, and then we'll wrap up the episode. This is another organizational tool that helps me visualize problems or workflows, things like that. It's called a mind map. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, I'm going to show you one in a moment, but My understanding of what a mind map is it's a visual representation of data. That's it. I am a visual person. I think visually. My wife makes fun of me because as I'm thinking through a problem, I'm usually looking up at the ceiling or the sky. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but it helps me focus and concentrate. So as an example, when I got my job at Nokia, I work in data center, primarily in automation, and I thought, what is all the content that I can help create as a product marketing person? So let me show you an example of. This is a very busy mind map, and you won't really be able to see much of the text, and that is on purpose. But I think it is instructive to show you how crazy these can get. So this is my data center content mind map, and I just started. You start in the center, data center content, right? What do I want to do? Certifications, community, operating system, creative ideas. What's our unique selling proposition? What makes us unique and different, right? What kind of events? Where are all the places we can distribute these things? So this is just an example of when I'm working through problems, when I'm trying to gather my thoughts. This is a tool that I love that enables me to kind of see a larger, more complex problem or something to be worked on visually. As another example, based on the podcast, we have a YouTube channel for the Art of Network Engineering, and there is a long, tedious, very confusing process on how to transfer a YouTube channel from one account to another. And I'm trying to do that for reasons. And I actually use this mind map. It's more of a flow chart, but to me, I kept reading through all of Google's documentation. There was like 6 different sites it would take you to in their help menus, and you could do this, you could do that. It depends on this, and do you go there? And so again, problem statement is my topic here. Transfer A1 YouTube. The subtopic here is brand accounts. So you can only transfer YouTube accounts that are called brand accounts. And then I just went through the basically 1, 2, 3. Each of these 4 work streams is a different document that felt kind of disconnected to me. And every time I'd read one document, it would point into another, and then I would get kind of lost in a loop. So, the first thing you have to do is the legacy channel linked to a brand account. Yes, no, do other thing. Is the new channel linked to a brand account? Yes, no, do other thing. This is how brand accounts work and how they're tied to Google accounts and multiple owners and managers and how this works and why you can move some things and not the other. And it seemed important to me to get this right because there's a caveat issued in moving YouTube accounts from one brand account to another. That if you do it wrong, you can delete it. And after 5 years and a ton of views and a lot of subscribers and just all the momentum that we've had over the years, I did not want to do this wrong, make a mistake, and wipe out our channel. So I used a mind map to organize my thoughts. The more organized I am, the more productive I can be. So that is why we went through this episode. So hopefully in the, somewhere between 8 to 10 organizational / productivity enhancing tools that we went through on this episode, hopefully 1 or 2 of them might be able to help you. If you have any favorite organizational tools, let us know in the comments, send a message. We will be doing a follow-up because Jeff had a ton of really cool tools that I wanted to look at. And with his internet problems at home, we just weren't able to finish this episode together. So, this is the favorite productivity tool episode part 1. Part 2 will be coming. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. It's been one heck of a journey, 170 something episodes in. I love the messages that I continue to get from people that say they love the show, they get value from it, we're helping them, they enjoy it. Anywhere from people saying, hey, I was, I had this crappy job I hated, and then I found your show, and now I followed a lot of your advice, and now I'm in career, and yay, this is amazing. Thank you. And we try to have those people on the show, and they reach out because it's really, it's just so gratifying doing this show. So thank you for allowing the show to continue all these years later. It is truly one of my favorite parts of working in network engineering for me, is getting to continue to do this show. I'm really grateful for Jeff that he's hopped on and helped me continue the show. A lot of work behind the scenes and a lot of friends reaching out that have been helping this year. So it means a lot to me. Thank you. For all things Art of NetEng, you can find all of our stuff at our linktree/Art of NetEng. Check out the Discord server called It's All About the Journey. Thousands of people in there studying. There was just an encore study group. I believe it was last night running. There's a CCNA study group that meets. There's a bunch of AI, automation, and programming conversations happening in there right now. We hopped on a happy hour the other night. I had some time. The family was away, and I just went in our Discord in a happy hour channel and said, hey, if anybody's around, you want to hop in a happy hour. A handful of people, including Max, forgive me for the other names I don't remember, but a handful of us hopped in, Taylor. And at the end of that happy hour, if you're watching the YouTube channel, Max turned me onto this Python crash course, which I just got. I just started reading. I'm really enjoying it. And when I get off this recording, finish the episode and upload this, I'm going to go through the first chapter here. I already checked that I have Python 3 installed on my Mac, which is great. I'm going to install an IDE next. And I'm really excited to learn Python. So again, this book that I have in my hands came to me as a result of being involved in a community. Ours is called It's All About the Journey Discord server. And somebody recommended a book because we spent an hour talking, and it's just a great place to be and hang out with like-minded folks. Whether you're trying to get into the industry, whether you're in the industry, or whether you're trying to skill up, you can check out our Discord server. I know I mention it every episode, but that's because it means a lot to me. It's a wonderful place where we all hang out, and I think you should check it out if you haven't. It's free. We get nothing from it. I just want to hang out with you. What else? That's our link tree, the Discord server. I am working on some merch store updates. I got some great ideas around some different merch ideas. So I'm going to try to get some new stuff on there. Other than that, it's summertime here in the eastern United States. It's super hot. It's been like 95, 100 degrees Fahrenheit every day. And just spending time running, going in the pool, hanging out, really enjoying my role in Nokia Data Center and all the friends I've made there. And I think that's it. That's a lot of words, but it was a short episode, so I'm trying to make sure we we give you a valuable episode. So great tools in this one. As always, Jeff, thank you for being with us. Hopefully you'll return soon once your internet is fixed. If you want to come on the show, if you have any guest ideas, if you have any topic ideas, if there's something you want to hear that you haven't heard, reach out. Again, our link tree is the best place. It has all the things. You can DM us everywhere, send emails, all that good stuff. As always, thanks so much for joining us on this episode, and we'll catch you next time on the Art of Network Engineering podcast. Hey folks, if you like what you heard today, please subscribe to our podcast in your favorite podcatcher. You can find us on socials at Art of NetEng, and you can visit linktree/Art of NetEng for links to all of our content, including the A1 merch store and our virtual community on Discord called It's All About the Journey. You can see our pretty faces on our YouTube channel named The Art of Network Engineering. That's youtube.com/Art of NetEng. Thanks for listening.